Chers amis, bonjour. Thank you, Rodri, and thank you to the wonderful organizers, Sum Sallivan and his team, and also Green College at UBC, at which actually I have my office. I'm very excited today to be here at so many levels. First, to meeting you, and I've already met several of the presenters and members of the audience, Emily and Emily. I promised to wave to them. Hi. Also, on a personal note, excited because it is actually my birthday. Thank you very much. Excited also because I decided to choose today to actually come out of the closet and to do it on Sam's show. Not in the way that you're thinking. I decided to come out of the closet about this wonderful project, which is the project of giving Canada its first major space launch facility, and why I decided to push for it to be built here in British Columbia, Canada. So I noticed those earlier presenters talked about Einstein. Let me explain. Several years back, in the course of my research on the Big Bang, I came across this thing that Einstein had predicted, and that still to this day has not actually been seen yet, which is called gravitational radiation. A lot of resources have been expended to detect this radiation, this effect of Einstein's theory. $1 billion has already been spent. There is an observatory in Washington State, but so far unsuccessfully. So what I did is actually I proposed a new way to try and see this effect, and that is by looking at stars with an exceptional space-based telescope. It happened that in Europe, actually, they've already built the exact hardware I needed, but for different purposes. So I was invited by European Space Agency, went over to Europe, looked at the hardware, at the project, and came back to Canada very excited about building just the same kind of spacecraft and then launching it into space to finally perhaps detect Einstein's gravitational radiation. I was, however, very surprised to discover that Canada has no such capability. We do not have the capability to launch anything into space, and especially not the major missions that I am thinking about. That in itself was not so much of an alarming thing in the last few decades. However, today, many nations, or several nations in the world, can launch their own spacecraft for scientific and other reasons. And it's actually very touching when you learn and see how the Chinese children, for example, the Indian children in Kazakhstan, in Korea, in Japan, can go somewhere to a center and see these space missions go up to the moon and to Mars and other destinations. And I'm not joking, because actually India already has something going around the moon, and India is landing on the moon in 2 years' time. China already has hardware going to the moon, and soon we're going to have Chinese astronauts waving to us from the moon, as you can see actually in the next slide. This is major space facilities in India. Now Canada actually asks India to launch some of its satellites. And if you can see the next one on China, as I said, they already had spacewalks and so forth. Even in the United States, where they don't have that many resources anymore, they're actually building, let me see the next slide, new spaceports. This is actually a facility that came online just, I think, last week. But nothing here in Canada. This is becoming a very serious situation, I think, going forward. So I decided back then that we had to start a campaign for building our own space launching capability and have it in British Columbia. Why not headquartered in Vancouver? It's back to us here. And I am asking you to, every one of you, to do whatever you can to join us in this wonderful project, which is going to be a new space center, a space launch center based in British Columbia. And as we say in French, ça c'est une tâche digne de Vancouver, digne de la Colombie-Britannique et digne du Canada. It's a task worthy of Vancouver, worthy of British Columbia, and worthy of Canada. Merci beaucoup, and thank you so very much.